Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony, and this show is about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business and sidestep all the crazy things that I seem to step on. Today we're talking about how many voiceover demos do you need. I have about 5 or 6 reasons or things I want to cover in today's session, so I'm really excited about that, and we're going to go through it one by one and really kind of dive into the differences, the changes, and things that are happening right now in our industry, and why I think that the old way of the industry standard of just 1 or 2 demos is just not enough anymore. All right, so we're going to dive into that. As you know, if you're looking for training or anything you need help, check out Avio's Journey Lead Academy, as well as our new platform, Academy Voices. It's our online casting platform. You can go check it out, academyvoices.com. It's free to join, and it's where we help voice actors give voiceover work. So check that out, and you can join right on the front page. There's a little button there that says click now, or it says find voiceover work, so you can check that out there. All right, so let's kind of dive into this. The first thing I want to talk about is the industry standard, right? So the industry standard, I think, traditionally has revolved around 1 or 2 really strong demos. Do you know what I mean? A commercial demo, and if you specialized in one specific area, whether it was maybe video game characters or e-learning or something, that was your real strong suit, 1 or 2 was enough so that your agent could, share that with a potential client when it was time, when there was work. You know what I mean? And because there was a lack of access, there was, not a bunch of, home studios and things like that, right? 1 or 2 was plenty. But now that has changed, right? I mean, with all of the online casting platforms that we have today, and with the home studio, right? So now, it's interesting because over COVID, so many things happened with shutdown, so many studios shut down, but in return, so many more opened up, but in a different form, right? In the home. So, this has been the rise, it's so many people, I think, and we're going to talk about AI, but in my humble opinion, so many people think that AI is the biggest thing that's happened to voiceover, or that's affecting us. And I think the reality is that the home studio really changed everything. You think about it, the home studio changed the entire industry, because now instead of a handful of studios, relatively speaking, you have possibly a studio anywhere in the world. So, that's changed everything. But because of that, 1 or 2 demos is just not enough anymore. All right. So now let's talk about, the case to be made about variety. All right. I think that because of all of the different places that people are looking for voiceovers now, right, you want to showcase your versatility. You want to give people the ability to hear you in a bunch of different ways, because I think, like I said before, and in the first point, when there was just 1 or 2 demos and everybody kind of played in that game, it was expected that, we searched for people. Hey, do you have somebody who could do this, or do you have somebody who could do that? I'm looking for this kind of voice. We're creating that. You know what I mean? But if you think about just the sheer amount of new creation that's happening every single day, right? There is such a need for people who have a variety of skills. And I think so many of us do so many things, but I think we expect people to just know that we do those things. And that leads kind of to the second point, and that, kind of variety that we're in is, targeted demos. We need to make sure that we're targeting our specific demos to specific genres, okay? Specific markets, whether, because, like, for example, in Academy Voices, if you go to our talent roster, on our section under styles, right, where you can filter what you're looking for. And under styles, we have, I think, up to 15 different demo styles now. And there's more that I know I don't have on there, right? But I mean, that's, so when people come searching for things, they're looking for very targeted demos, right? Very specific things because there's so much available. So people want to find exactly what they're looking for, and that's why you need to make sure you're targeting, whether it's e-learning, audiobooks, video games, whatever. You know what I mean? Narration, corporate, political, all this stuff, right? All right, so let's move on to, I think, number 3, which is AI and competition. With AI and, of course, the growing number of voice actors and the access, you need to stand out. You need to stand out from the crowd. You need to be able to get people to recognize you and wherever you can pick up eyeballs. And that means that you need a more range, you need more spread, more diversity of your work, just more of it, more adaptability on your part. All of these things, right? Because of that competition, AI, everything makes you indispensable. Because one thing you could say about AI is starting to do one thing pretty good. Okay, but if AI was able to do everything very good, they wouldn't keep hounding us to give them our voices. All right, because the human voice and what we do is so complex and so nuanced that copying one aspect of it is one thing, but copying all of it, I mean, and as long as we continue to push back as we all are now, it's not going to be the same anymore. They've tried to target the video game industry, and they're working on that and this and that, but it's not, the level at which AI is able to mimic what we do on a whole is just far. I mean, I don't know if it will ever be able to do everything that we can do. All right. Or at least not, in our lifetimes, probably. I'm talking about everything. So the idea here is that you've got to show that versatility. All right. Also marketing trends, right? I mean, I think, that's kind of going back into what I was just saying about AI. The AI and the way, it's funny because even any platform, they're all trying to embrace AI because it's such a big trend right now and people are pumping all this money into it. And, we know there's some aspects of AI that are very helpful to people. Sadly, it's good and it's bad, as we know. I mean, we could go into the AI discussion. It's not kind of what it was meant for this video, but the idea here is that, the human emotion and versatility that we can show, right? That display through more demos. I got to get back on topic. That display through more demos will give AI and anyone a run for their money. Okay? Because they cannot do that. They can do one thing. They might be able to do one thing or, something here or there, right? And pretty much towards short commercial styles. But, in voicemail, which, to be honest, voicemail has always been more of a very robotic type of voiceover anyways for most people, right? But pretty much the rest of it, I mean, you're still going to look for emotion, right? And, storytellers. So that's where those more demos can come into play. All right, moving on to the old argument of quality versus quantity. I think this is number 4. And I think the reality is, right, is that in the end, and I'll just use my own example or my own a situation now at the Academy Voices, our online casting platform, right? We're getting hundreds of voice actors applying to join, which is wonderful. And, we're accepting them. And some, however, I'm not able to accept yet because they're just not ready at this particular moment in the standpoint of quality. And that quality of the audio, the quality of the acting, and then the quality of how those two mix together, right? They need to be able to mix together in a way that shows that, we are a top elite platform. And that's what Academy Voices is, right? We charge top prices. We are pushing for top talent. And, that's kind of what that platform is. But the reality is that there's always a challenge to know, when do I put stuff up? When do I move forward? What is the balancing act, right, between having enough of this diverse portfolio that I'm talking about and the quality of what you're doing. So the reality is that it's a tightrope. You need to have the quantity in order to reach the people that are searching for you, but at the same time, the quality has to be there. So the reality is this, you guys, you've got to do both. You've got to really, really work on improving. And that moves into the next thing, which is in continuous improvement. You need to improve constantly. So whatever you put out today, that doesn't mean that it's going to be your best tomorrow or the next day. All right. I'm not saying you put out a new demo every day, but you need to really work on continuously improving and putting out better stuff, because again, what you do now is not going to be the best that you can do in 3 months or 6 months from now. Okay. So, always continuously improve, always walk that fine line between quality and quantity. We don't want one to be out of balance with the other. Okay. Number 5. All right. So let's talk about some practical tips, getting started for beginners and things like that. I think that, to me, what I'm asking for now is, at least for Academy Voices, and then I'll tell you for, other platforms, right? I think in most general platforms, you can get started with one demo, right? That still allows you to get up on the platform for one demo. For me on Academy Voices, because I know what I'm looking for, I ask people to at least have 3 demos. And I not only have 3 demos, but also have a fantastic headshot. Now, again, I'm talking about Academy Voices because, to me, on Academy Voices, our brand is about all human all the time, right? And we charge top prices for top talent. And part of that top talent is that you understand who they are. We are highly professional. We look professional. We sound professional. Our customer service is professional. Everything is very professional. Not that these other platforms aren't like that, but I'm just saying that. So for Academy Voices, I'm looking for, photos, headshots that aren't blurry, demos that are top quality demos, the best that they can be, right? A variety of demos. I just don't want one demo, right? Everyone has a commercial demo. So 2 things about that. Since everyone has a commercial demo, you need a commercial demo. At the same time, everyone has a commercial demo. So this is the whole point I'm trying to make. We need more. So that's why I need 3. The 3 I typically recommend is, right, you have a commercial demo, e-learning, explainer, video game, political. You can go on Academy Voices and look at the styles, right, and just go through and see the different ones. But I typically find that those are some of the most sought after right now: explainer, e-learning, video game, character, political, narration, corporate narration, do a lot of corporate narration, that kind of stuff. So, those are, voice, there's, it's so funny because you don't need it until you need it, right? That's the whole thing. Investment, I think, keeping in the practical tips, when you're first starting, you're not going to have probably much money at all. Right. My story, right, with the $40 mic and everything. I started with nothing and very little, a $200 gift card to Lowe's. That's how I put my hobo fort together. Although with today's prices, you probably couldn't do it for $200. It probably cost more. But, at the time you could do it. That was in 2017. Now it's, what's crazy about that? It's getting close. It's 2024. Getting close to 10 years. That's almost anyway, sorry. But the point is that there is an investment in this, and it is important, in my opinion, right, that you do work with professionals. and you do invest in a demo, whether you work with, a VO's Journey and get a demo from us, or you get a demo from some, some of the titans in the industry who do incredible demos. There's an incredible cost, but it's worth it to do it at least once or twice, right? To get some of those demos from them. Absolutely. But the sheer amount, let's just realistic. Doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter whether you're a veteran or not. As you become a veteran, you'll start to realize this even more, right? It is important to have really great demos, but just like I talked earlier, but it's important also, as we're talking here, to have the quantity you need as well. So you need to have both really great demos and a bunch of them. But realistically speaking, paying $2, $3, $4 a demo, you just can't afford to do 10 or 15. That's a lot, 100, right? And that's a lot of money, right? 20, 30 grand, 40 grand. So, we have to put that, walk that tightrope, like I said earlier. All right. So, when you're first starting, you do the best that you can. You put up the best that you can. You might not be able to get much work, but we all went through it. I mean, that's the point I'm trying to make. Don't stop though. Don't let that stop you. Start where you are and move forward. But no, like I remember when I first started, I realized early on that I was put stuff up. I could probably pick up some, low hanging fruit here or there, but I wasn't going to get the high paying jobs I get now because I didn't have the demos. I didn't have the experience. It is what it is, but I wasn't going to let that stop me from trying to get the experience. Does that make sense? All right. So you can, start where you are. All right. So let's move on to the last point. And that's the, I think the engagement the engagement part of this. And that is, it's very important to engage with the community and to get always a good idea of what is happening. But when I say engage with the community, I mean it in two ways. One, I do mean it engage in the voiceover community. It's very important. So many of us are working in so many different genres and sectors with different people, and there's so much information and stuff going on. For the most part, I'd say about 90% of our community, just like any community, is so amazing, so loving. You're going to come across some people who are having a bad day, who maybe a bad year. They're not very happy. But for the most part, everyone has each other's best interests in mind. And a lot of the disagreements we have sometimes are really just about what we think, can help people the most and what we think may hurt people, and there's worse things to disagree over. Right. So, that's a really good thing. And so we have such a wonderful community. But the other community I'm talking about engaging with is clients, right? Is people that you're actually looking to sell to. Because in the end, you're not selling to voice actors, right? You're selling to potential small businesses, production studios. Okay, you're selling to marketing agencies. You're selling to these types of customers, and it's video game production companies, small indie developers, educational. You're selling to all these different clients, not voice actors. So you need to also engage in that community, whether that's you read, you pay attention, you join groups, something, but listen. Or read, but listen, right, to what's going on. Engage in that community so you understand what you're actually doing instead of putting something out in the world which you don't even know if people want. All right, so these are things that I think could really help you. I know this has been a long video today, but I hope that these kind of 6 different, tips, thoughts, reasons of why we need more demos. And to have good quality demos, but a decent quantity as well. 1 or 2 is just not enough anymore. It's not enough. It's not enough. Maybe if you are a very specific voice actor today who has had a distinguished career, you only need 1 or 2 demos, but you even look at them and look at how many demos those people have. Okay. But the reality is you need a lot of demos to get yourself out there today. All right, you guys, thank you so much for helping. Again, if you do need help getting started with your first demo or something or whatever, you can always check out VOsJourney.com under our demo section there, or get help to some of the other amazing demo creators, or check out a VO's Journey Lead Academy and work on starting to learn how to create your own demos. And there's so many different ways to go about it. But whatever you do, don't sit still. Take action. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Have a wonderful Tuesday. Check out Academy Voices as well. Talk to you later. Bye, everybody.